What is up, NBA family? My name is Jeremiah, and welcome back to another fantastic NBA season. This is the Shoot the J channel, where you can expect recaps once a week. I lied last year. I was capping. I was completely capping. Don't hold me to my word last year. We're a new man. We're changed now. We're doing a video once a week. It's coming out every Sunday. Today's the exception since it's the first video. You should expect it every Sunday. One video once a week. No more, no less. Don't expect more from me, you ungrateful. Anyways, I thank you so much for being my number one fans. I thank you so much for waiting for this video to come in. Without further ado, before we keep on yapping about the NBA season, you can catch me talk about the wins, the losses, the trades, the injuries, every little piece of NBA drama that happens all the goddamn time. I mean, there was already drama like literally this morning with the Tari and shit. Are the Rockets going to sign him or not? LeBron's going to be out for leg groin reasons for like 2 months. I mean, there's a lot going on already, but right now we just want to get into the predictions. Later on, we can get into the mumbo jumbo on next week's episode. But thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to predict the Eastern Conference because it's easier than the Western Conference because that shit took me like a month to figure out. Now, my first spot is going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a notoriously high win season last year, and Donovan Mitchell is a proven recipe for a very highly dominant regular season team. They did lead the East last year with 64 wins. This year, I expect, with their offseason additions, they added Lonzo Ball so they can have some stability for their guard rotation. They always have some issues with having Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell on the floor at the same time, just injury-wise, so maybe Lonzo Ball helps a little bit of that, so that way they can load manage. Very important in the league right now. They had another year of Evan Mobley developing, Jared Allen. You know, they've got their bigs just doing their work in the paint. This may be the final season we see this core, though, depending on what the final result is. They've had a couple years to work with this. They've been great teams for many years. It just hasn't translated to many playoff wins. That being said, I still expect this team to perform well, at least in the regular season. They can definitely take the top spot in the East that is a little bit wide open. I'm picking the Cavs. My second spot is going to go to the New York Knicks. I put a lot of respect on their name last year, and rightfully so. We just didn't expect a Halliburton to happen in the playoffs, but I do think the Knicks are here to overachieve once again this year in another open East. The Knicks have been building upon the Jalen Brunson core. They're going into season 4 now with Jalen Brunson. They got a lot of that playoff success last year with Karl Anthony Towns. That was a much-needed addition that they needed. Now they have another year with him, a little bit more chemistry. I do think, some off-season moves that they wanted to make, which I didn't think they really could do much because they're kind of like really close to the cap right now, but they made some smart moves as much as they could right now. Re-signed Michael Bridges with whatever money they had left. They signed Jordan Clarkson so that way they could have some, scoring. A little bit of bench unit help. Clearly that team is not really deep, but Clarkson was a potential 6th man of the year on the Utah Jazz. So I think that's a very good fit for the Knicks. The Knicks seem like an obvious answer to perform well again in the regular season. I also really like the coaching change. The Tom Thibodeau era is over. Please rejoice, New York Knicks fans. Who would have thought that they would have finally got rid of this man at the right time, exactly when they needed to? Mike Brown is the new coach. Will this be enough change to lead the Knicks out of the East? We will find out. My third spot this year is going to the Orlando Magic. This is my first dark horse pick for this season, I would say, so far until we get to the West. That's going to be a little bit spicy. But I placed them here really because of the gap from the Pacers and the Celtics injuries this season. You're going to have Halliburton out all year. You're going to have Jason Tatum out all year. Otherwise, I'd have the Magic at 5. I mean, screw it. They're already a good enough team to make that. They usually make that already, even with having an injury season. But regardless, I do have a lot of belief in them this season. I think they won the offseason signing Desmond Bane. It's a very great fit for their team. They needed a good role player. They needed somebody that's an Iron Man, somebody that can play many games this season, somebody that can put up points on the board, somebody that can take some of the load management, as I managed earlier, off of Paolo Banchero and the Wagner boys, because The Wagner boys do it right, man. Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner. I love this team. I love what the Magic got going on right now. Watch out for them boys. Watch out for them boys. As Chuck said, them young boys coming. Them young boys coming. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. My fourth spot in the East is going to the Atlanta Hawks. Now, after their disappointing fizzle out in the play-in, it was very important that this roster needed big change if they want to get back to that Eastern Conference final that they had a whole last 4 years ago. God damn, we're living in the past. This offseason, they decided to add Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, Porzingis jumps off on page, obviously, for obvious reasons. Not only that, Trae Young is notoriously good with a nice lob threat. Good big man in the post for small little Trae Young. I do think it'll be something magical in the East. I think that Trae Young, something that people are overlooking is that he's in the last year of his contract right now. So I think he has every reason to just ball out this year. You add onto that another year of them developing their young talents. You know, Zachary Risachet, still the number 1 pick in the draft. Dyson Daniels, I think, has been doing great for them. And then you have, no, they traded Jalen Johnson. Yeah, but they still got some good young players on the team. Trust, believe in them boys in Atlanta. My fifth spot here is going to the Detroit Pistons. Now, similar to the Magic, their rebuild took over when they had the number 1 pick in Cade Cunningham. Once he took control of this team and brought their bottom-of-the-barrel East team into the 6th seed last year, it only makes sense that I put them at number 5 this year. Now, I do think the offseason moves by adding Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, it adds some shooting to their depth. It adds a little bit more depth to their guard rotation for their team. Couple things that they were missing by missing Jaden Ivey for most of the season. Not sure if they can have everybody healthy. I do really like the core, the young core, that is Cade, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey. I think that's enough to propel this team to at least the middle of the East. But we will see what they can do this year. My 6th spot here is going to go to the Milwaukee Bucks. I only have one word to describe the situation in Milwaukee right now, and that is Antetokounmpo. 3, that is, on the same team, which means they'll be unstoppable. 3 Antetokounmpo brothers, not the best, but they do have the best brother on their team. Now, the Bucks have been on a downslide since trading Drew Holiday out and ending up with the Damian Lillard experiment in 2023. This season, they look to get away from all that and go back to the Giannis with role players around him. 2018 LeBron-style roster here. Although it sounds pretty horrific, it can at least be enough in the East, I feel like, with the juggernaut that Giannis is, the MVP candidate that he is every year, top 5 player in the league every year that he is. They can definitely sweep a playoff spot in the East. I mean, come on now. We might be discounting them. Looks pretty bad, but they did upgrade from Brook Lopez. They got Miles Turner from the Pacers, which was a really good big upgrade for them. They also got Cole Anthony and Gary Harris from the Magic. I really believe, I wouldn't say they have something special. That'd be insane for me to say they have something special. But Giannis has worked with worse. I believe they can at least take in a playoff spot in the East with an MVP like him. Now, I want to warn everybody here, past this point, it gets a little nasty. It gets disgusting out here. Every other spot below here is a shot in the dark. I do want to give another 2-3 teams a chance. Maybe, slide them in here. But I'm just really, any of these teams could be the 7th seed. They could be the 15th seed. Since we're in the second half of the video, we're practically speed running this, so bear with me. But as we know, the Pacers did make the finals last year. Congratulations. Made it to 7 with the Thunder. Fantastic series. Loved that whole run from the Pacers. The Halliburton, everything that happened. It was just peak, just absolute cinema for NBA. But that being said, the Pacers still have a great roster. But with losing Miles Turner to the Bucks and with Tyrese Halliburton's year-long injury, I think they'll struggle to avoid the play-in this year. They could definitely get a 8, 9. I mean, look, 7 maybe. But they're not getting a top 6. It's just not in the cards right now. Now, that being said, hopefully the Celtics populated on there. We'll see later. The Celtics Similar story. They still have flashes of greatness on their team, but they've lost most of their core that led to the 2024 championship. They lost Porzingis to the Hawks. They lost Drew Holiday to the Blazers. And Tatum is just gone for the majority of the season. I don't know what he's like, oh, I'm going to be there but after All-Star break. Buddy, we're good. You guys won a championship. You're still young. Don't rip your other leg off, dude. Just chill. That being said, if he does rush back, they could eye a play-in spot. Jaylen Brown is enough, and Derek White is enough for them to actually have something workable. But I'm not sure if it's worth it for them at this point. Moving on to the, what a history with this team. 76ers seem like a pipe dream at this point, dude. This year, we can bet the unders on how many games Embiid and Paul George will play, since it really won't be many, to be honest. Although they have a promising and fun to watch young, talented team with Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and VJ Edgecombe, and they can make TikToks on the side of before the game and then, ball out. Like, it would be fun to watch. But I can't be confident that this team can be healthy enough for the season. The 76ers always have one of the worst injury bugs in the league. So who's to say they could be... Hell, they could be the top 3 seed with Embiid playing the first 20 games, popping off. Paul George is just looking 10 years younger and everything. And then 20 games later into the season, the whole roster could be injured. That's all I'll say about the 76ers. Now, the... was a Miami, papi, Miami. Bro, I am tripping on this. Like I said, bear with me, bruh. I have to put some respect on your team. Look at that shit. That small logo. All right, I'm sorry for disrespecting the Heat people. The Heat have been on a downturn after the Jimmy Butler exodus last year. Their roster now contains Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, accompanied with star wings and Andrew Wiggins. And Norman Powell. I mean, I liked him on the Clippers, but who's to say he'll fit on this? This roster is cooked. They could make a 10 seed, a 9 seed, because the East is just that sad, but this roster is cooked. Now, sorry for being so disrespectful for the Heat, because it's only going to get more disrespectful from here on. The Raptors have one of the most mixed-match teams I have seen in the league right now, like similar to the Nets, of just looking like, holy, who is on that team right now? So many crumbs left here. RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Poeltl. Oh my God, what are they trying to do? I'm not sure if any of this fits at all. They will struggle to compete with many of the elite teams in the East. That's what I can vouch for. Look, they can beat a Hornets, they can beat a Wizards, they can beat a Hawks on a good day or whatever, but they're not going to be able to compete with the top cream of the crop out there, brother. That's enough said about these MFs. Now, if these things quit hiding from me. The Nets with your small little ass logo. Shout out Brooklyn for the time that we actually balled out. But aside from that, the Nets did sign Michael Porter Jr. from the Nuggets, which means that they're making moves and they're on to nothing. Bro's on to nothing. They'll still struggle. They won't make the playoffs. Good luck to Brooklyn. Now, one of the very fan-favorite teams here, the Charlotte Hornets, with LaMelo Ballsius, and they got LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Ingram. They did draft number 4 with Con Knuppel this year. On paper, it seems like it might be enough to at least net them a play-in spot. They usually get a little 9 seed up in there. But the Hornets are a notoriously horribly ran organization. Good luck. Good luck, Hornets fans. Now the Bulls. Where you at? Your little small-ass logo. The Bulls. In this perpetual rebuild, the Bulls look to get another play-in spot as usual. They always get a 9 seed and a 10 seed. They have this, like the play-in game. They play their hearts out, whatever, get this little trophy, and then they get swept. But They'll be looking for another playing spot with their core of Giddey, Kobe White, and Vucevic still has a contract. Somehow. All right, bro. And then, what am I missing? Oh! Yeah, I didn't even write anything for the Wizards, bro. I didn't write anything for the Wizards. Come on, bro. Post John Wall? Now, John Wall times? Yeah, well, John Wall with the John Wall dance? Yeah. It would have been different, but no, we're not talking about the Wizards in 2025. And that being said, that rounds out all 15 teams for the East. That is my East predictions for this year. I will be horribly wrong, or I'll be horribly right, or I'll be half right, half wrong. I would love to see the results after this, looking back on it. That being said, thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the channel. Thanks for showing some love. Thanks for clicking this video and making it all the way to the end. That means you are a absolute real one. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more NBA content. We'll be coming back at you next week. Peace.